we don't have time for debates about religion.
Yeah.
You know, we can do that, you know, another time. We at war.
Yeah.
And we can't be arguing about who's what and who's not. Are you righteous? Are you moral? Do you take care of your wife and your babies? Do you treat people like you want to be treated? Those are the things that I look for, regardless of a man's religion, regardless of his color. Are you striving to be a good man or woman?
Sure.
And do you want to help oppressed and poor people, particularly black people?
Yeah.
And that's where we start. All the theological debates and the religious debates, you know, it happens because you're always gonna come across someone who, you know, they narrow-minded. They really think they know, but in their arrogance, they're really hiding their weaknesses. And when you know yourself so well, when you can go in your mind, and when you can prune from the mind the weaknesses of self, you grow into what Allah intends for you to be, and that's a righteous Muslim. And when you do that, you see through men. You see through them. You don't waste your time dealing with trivial things. You can't tell me you're a Muslim, you've been a Muslim for 30 years, but you broke. You single.
Yeah.
Your babies hate you.
Yeah, you're right.
But then you want to look at the brother or the sister that got the good things. But they don't believe the way you might believe. But you both believe in Allah, but you condemn him. Oh, brother, you don't study classical Islam. Really? So I'm not your brother. Or brother, look, man, you ain't rocking that. You dressing like an Arab. So I'm not your brother.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the trivial, see, these are what we call the effects of slavery.
Yeah.
We're not in physical bondage, but we suffer from the residual effects of slavery, self-hatred.
A lot of us is because of lack of identity. We attach ourselves to something that we.
That's the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings with our Prophet says, the greatest jihad is that of self. And we don't want to deal with that. We got to deal with everybody else. We pointing, well, we got 3 pointing back at us.
Yeah, you got
and the thumb pointing to He who created the heavens and the earth. If we would just go to Him, He would heal all our wounds, man. But that jihad of self, brothers, that's definitely.
And look, when the Holy Prophet's enemies was coming after him, he fled to Christians and Jews, and they were able to work together because they had what? A common enemy. And
they have respect.
Yeah.
But the character of Rasulullah was I mean, he was guided by Allah too. You know what I mean? So people were able to see him and not even know what he was on and say, whatever you want, I want it. You know what I mean? And
aren't we guided by Allah?
Yeah, we are. That's my point. And not even and we're guided by Allah. And we have Rasulullah still, like, you know what I mean? So we have the ability to still pray for him, and he prays for us. He responds to our salams, and we have his character. And if we just got familiar with his character and tried to, you know, embody it, you know, then the whole point here, like, he didn't separate on none of that stuff. Even if he knew you, he'd be like, no, you dead wrong. But he didn't separate himself from you. You know what I mean? And to me, that's one of our biggest problems. Like we get knowledge and then we use it as a weapon. You know what I mean? And you know, who was it? Imam Shafi that said,
knowledge is that which.
Yeah.
He said knowledge is that which benefits, not with that which is memorized.
Yeah. And the one who knows is the one that knows he don't know. You don't know nothing. You know,
it don't matter how much you know. If it's not benefiting the people, it's of no use.
Yeah.
So you can flash it all around and speak eloquently and do whatever you can, but if it's not showing the results, then what benefit were you to the people? Whereas the Prophet said, we know that everything he did, we're living testimony of it. 1,400 years later, we still practicing what he
Here's the key though. The prophet said, peace be upon him, that what, after 4 generations, after 3 generations, the hoppers would not be of him. And we can see the history played on down the line. So we're so far away from what he put out there, according to him, right? We know what he practiced. Are we practicing what he practiced?
Yeah,
and if so,
that's the intention.
why don't we have the results that he produced?
Because we're not working on that inside, man.
Yeah.
You know, and some of us are. It's sad because, like you'll go and you'll like I know when I first became Muslim, I took Shahada in '98, right? And then I went through phases. So I had a phase where, you know, I wasn't really doing nothing because I was scared, right? And then I had that little phase where like they welcoming you in and they try to teach you some stuff and you all excited and, you know, I just wanted to be Muslim and I wanted to be around everybody. I was speaking to everybody. And then I went through another phase where then people start telling me, yo, don't stay away from that person. Stay away from that. And then I was like confused. And then so I'm like, dang, I got to find out the truth. So then, I went for like maybe a year and a half trying to figure out, yo, what am I supposed to be on? What I'm not supposed to be on? Then I met Amin Muhammad and then he kind of straightened a lot of that stuff out for me. And then once I got to that point, then I went to another stage. I'm like, all right, cool. I got the basics of the religion down. I know what to do, what not to do. I know where I stand. Now you go into like the Sufi mode, like the wannabe Sufi mode, where like I want to perfect my character, and then I'm trying my hardest to do everything right, and I'm gonna wake up and pray to Hajj, and I'm gonna do all the extra salats, and then you kind of get burnt out. I went to that stage where I just got burnt out, like, damn, I'm doing too much. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of people go through similar stages. Everybody that I know,
it's like a plateau.
Yeah, they're at one of those stages where they're either going super hard or they're not doing enough or they're being hard on themselves. And because you don't have any teachers or anyone to walk you through it, like that's always our thing. Like what I was taught, the number one thing that I was taught was that when you learn to find a teacher, to have somebody to walk you through all these things. However, there aren't any teachers. That's what I was going to say. You know what I mean? So when I wanted to learn tasawwuf, and that's always perfecting your character and your insides and stuff, I didn't know of any sheikhs to take bayat with. You know what I mean? So when somebody introduced me like this, take tariqah with, sheikh so-and-so. And my sheikh he's in another country. So we don't have that personal connection so we don't have that
that's something that like
that connection where I can sit down and say, hey, Sheikh, this is what's going on with my wife. This is what's going on with my children. I'm having these problems at work or whatever. And then, you really, what I'm getting to is some people just really need therapists. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like we're going, not that Islam doesn't have the answer. It does. But we don't have a lot of people that are qualified and proficient in those areas to give that counseling to the Muslim community. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Beloved,
because
Islam is a world.
Yeah.
I was going to say that. All right. You know how we say Sunnah, right? There's a lot of Sunnahs that we just forgot because we've forgotten the Prophet his methodology of doing things. And what happens is, when somebody accepts Islam, it's like, here you go the manual, say this, and then that's it. You know what I mean? And if you study the Prophet's character enough, you will notice, like, he never did that. Whenever somebody accepted Islam, he would appoint someone with them, and he said, go teach them the religion and do so and so. Right? And the first thing of the things that he would teach them, the initial things, is the Quran. Because the Quran comes first before anything else. Mm-hmm. Right? Because you need to understand the Quran. And this is what a lot of our problems is that we just give them the book and say, and then like you just come to the masjid or whatever when you want to come. So we leave them hanging. But this is something that the Prophet never did. And so now we're getting the results of this type of Muslims and this type of Muslim. And you're not adopting them as your brother. Because that's what mu'akkar means. The Prophet they called it mu'akkar, is when you make this brother akhi. Meaning, this is my brother now. So I have to tend to him. Because he knew, like I would tend to a child. But we don't have that sincerity enough to be like that, to produce this person up to the level of like that. Why? Because of what he said, because we don't have potential Muslims that has that type of character to do that type of work.
Yeah.
Let me say the quote for y'all. Look, there's an old saying, we all know it. Each one teach one.
Yeah.
I can learn from everybody, and I'm not the best knower. Allah is the best knower, right? I'm not the best knower here, but I know things that I can share with you, like you can share with me. You know, in absence of what you are looking for and I'm gonna say the quotations, in a teacher, you got brothers, man. You can always come to Brother Vernon. This is a man with good character. He's a moral man. He's not ignorant to Islam. Islam, Yahweh Elijah Muhammad taught us, is the nature, and the Holy Quran tells us it's the nature of man. So we have to be reintroduced to our own self. Self-love is first. The knowledge of self. Now, the traditional aspects of it, prayer is the first step to the purification of the heart. You don't pray, it's not likely that you're going to have a purified heart. Charity and the doing of good. 3 steps that lead to the purification of the heart. This is what the Minister Farrakhan taught, right? We in all different houses. I should be very comfortable going to Masjid Muhammad. And I don't have a problem going. Any house where Allah's name or God's name, regardless of what name we call him, but particularly where Allah's name is mentioned, we all should be very comfortable if we call ourselves Muslim. And I should be able to sit before any imam and learn. And as a student in the ministry, and as a minister in Minister Farrakhan's ministry, anyone I should be able to welcome to sit with me to learn what I can impart about the Holy Quran from the teachers of Yahweh Elijah Muhammad as they were taught to us by Minister Farrakhan. So I would say, brothers, we got to go wherever we can go to get the knowledge and be open to receive information and use what you have of Islam and the Holy Quran as a filter so that no man can deceive us. That Holy Quran is a filter. That and the truths of the Bible. There's just truth in the Bible. The Bible is a book of prophecy. Holy Quran is a book of revelation. And the two of them together can show us, in this modern context, exactly where we are. The Holy Prophet didn't receive the Holy Quran for nothing. And we still got the book, and it's still relevant, and we're still learning, and we're still living, and we're still experiencing life based on what is in that book. It's not closed yet, but it's a scripture that comes from a greater book. Allah still has something for